welcome back. So before we get to the really exciting flutes, I decided that I was going to do a couple more reviews of some different types of, or some different makers. But today we're going to do something really special. We're actually going to review 4 flutes. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer video, so hopefully you can stay with me and listen to all these different types of flutes. So we're going to be going over the maker Chikudo or Takemichi. So I'm not really sure about which maker, like how to pronounce the name here. It could be either or, just based on the different pronunciations that these two characters can make. Usually they like when we look at a maker's name, there's 2 types of pronunciations in Japanese. There's an onyomi and a kunyomi, which basically means the sound it makes and the way it's read, basically how that can be translated. So one's the Chinese pronunciation and one's the Japanese pronunciation. So I think that this one is going to be Chikudo. Now, we're going to go over a couple of his flutes. So here we have a 1.5. We got a 1.9. We've got, I think it's a 2.2 and a 2.3, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know anything about this maker. I tried looking some stuff up and I couldn't find anything. I'm based on how the flutes are made, some of the pitch variation that they have, in addition to the sound quality. And I believe that a lot of these, this one is Giadi. This one's also Giadi. I think one of them is Jinashi, if I'm not mistaken. This one looks to be Jimori. It's got little chunks in it, and this one is okay. So these are all Giadi, so it might be post-war, but I think they're older flutes just based on the sound quality. The bamboo is really nice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is a 6. 6 has 6 nodes here instead of the standard 7. It's 2 honko, so you got one on the top. All of them are actually 2 honko flutes. Let's see, this one is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the last one has 7. All the other ones have 6 nodes. They are all Kinko Ryu style making, or utaguchis. They all look to be Blackwater buffalo horn. And then we have on the joints a variety of types. So this one is the plastic. This one is the rattan binding. I'm not sure what wood this is. And it might just be urushi lacquer on that one. And then the last one is also the same as the third to last, or second to last. So let's just start out with that. We'll do all of them first with Itsuki Komoryuta, so we can kind of get a general flow of the our general overall feel of his style. All right, here we go. Itsuki Komoryuta. So what really gives it away for me is of it being like an older flute is the warmth of the sound, and it reminds me of a lot of the other older flutes that I've had a chance to play. They tend to be warmer. Now I'm not saying all old flutes are going to have that warm, like brown tone sort of sound, but it really does remind me of that. A lot of them happen to have that. What really gave it away for me is this 1.9. You'll hear it right away when we go through this. Also, look at it says really nice curvature on it. Beautiful bamboo. mean, talk about warmth. I mean, it's really, really warm. I think part of it has to do with maybe the curvature of the flute, but also the shape of it is very, very oval. Like this part here, the fingers lay directly right on top flat. Very easy to play, despite that curve. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. Hear that same and see how the sound is on this one as we get lower into the flutes. But the sound, I think you'll see that the sound stays quite similar. Like this Chikudo or Takemichi definitely has his own sound. I think this one's very, very similar to that 1-9 in color. It's kind of, I think there should be a special word for this kind of sound where like it all just like compacts together and compresses and it's very warm. I think there needs to be a word for that if there isn't one already. But because it's not like fluffy. It's really it's really that it has like that ball sound, like a really condensed ball of warmth. Okay, last one here for this Itsuki. A lot more power on this one. It's a little bit thicker than the last one. Oh, actually, no, it's not at all. The bore end is thicker, right? Like you can see how much bigger at the end it is, but actually in this end they're the same. So you see how that bell is really important. Well, I like how easy the kannoro is to play on all of these flutes. Kannoro, it just really sings beautifully, and it just clicks. Just kind of clicks into place, and then it just warms out through the entire flute. Okay, I want to check out a couple other pieces just to get a sense of some of the other colors on these flutes. So we'll start with the 1.9 again. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of kumoejishi. I completely forgot this. My mouse was in the way. Let's try that phrase one more time. Very, very nice. I thought that this would fit really well with that piece. The warmth of this flute doesn't make it kind of like screechy. A lot of on the modern flutes with kumoejishi, if the flutes get a little bit too short, they get very shrill. and it becomes very hard to listen to this piece or Azumajishi or any of the pieces that really require a shorter flute. Again, it's personal that I decide to use a shorter flute on these pieces, but this one, because of it's not shrill at all, and when you're sitting in the higher, like in the con register for the almost the entire piece, this is a really good choice for that flute. I was thinking about this 1.9 and what might work really well on it. And perhaps what we can do is maybe like just a little bit of the melodious parts of tamuke. Let's see how this fits. Yeah, it fits nicely. I think that warmthness in it, the warmth is such a classic sound to me. Like when I think of, and this might just come from my violin background, but when we think of older, like Italian and French violins, there's just this warmth and there's toned color that we don't really get out of a lot of the modern violins. There are people who do make them like that, and they're able to, obtain some of that warmth, but it's different. It's a little bit, especially with the older like Italian violins, there's a little bit of a nasally sound to it, but there's a depthness under it as well. And that's what these older shakuhachis remind me of. And if this guy happens not to be an older maker, then he's just obtaining that sound that I think many of us so much like about the shakuhachi. I think that this next one would fit really nicely on Nezasa Hashirabe. So I'll start in the middle of this one too. Yeah, I really like this flute. I like that flute a lot, especially on the komibuki. Comes out so nicely, and it really it's just a really good flute. I think you don't need to say anything more about it. It speaks for itself. And now for this longer flute, I was just thinking as I was playing that one that perhaps a piece like koku might be really nice on this one. So we'll just give that a try. I haven't tried it on this flute, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so the only thing that I have to say about these flutes, like if I pull up, let's see here. I think that so the first one should be an F. Let's take a. See, all of it, it's just slightly flat. So if you play really like if you naturally play like this with a little bit lower, there it's in tune except for that high note, but I think it should be played. And I could maybe drop a little bit lower. Yeah, then all of it's in tune except for that high note. But that, if you play it with that fingering, the go no ha, it is in tune. Or wait. Then it's an E. Yeah, so it's flat. But all the other sounds perfect if you get it there. Okay, so there's two options for fixing the pitch. Option number one is just playing low this way, or option number two is raising the utaguchi higher. So that's going to be the trick for that one. This one here, it's a perfect C sharp. It's like 5 cents flat. And then the tsu is just a little bit flat, but that high note, it's actually a little sharp. Okay. It's kind of somewhere in between B and C. Yeah, it's somewhere in between. So it's a quarter tone. It's a quarter tone in between. Okay, this last one we have. Yeah, and this one's also a quarter tone in between B and A sharp. So these are definitely solo flutes, but they sound so good. So if you're somebody who plays home kyoku and you don't really play with other people, especially on the longer flutes, I don't think that if you're not going to play with other people and you're just going to play home kyoku, having a flute that's like perfectly in tune with the Western standard, it's not really important. What's important is as long as the flute is in tune with itself, and all these flutes are in tune with themselves. So as a maker overall for Chikudo, I think that the overall sound is very classic, a very classic Kinko style maker. Probably mid or early 20th century. If you guys know anything about Chikudo or Takemichi, and you know about his styles and his making and more about his flutes, definitely leave some comments below. I would love to learn more about him. I really like this style. It was an absolute pleasure to play all these flutes. I hope you enjoyed this video as well, and I will see you guys next week for some more flutes. But stay tuned. In the future, don't know which episode it's going to be yet. I've got two really exciting flutes, ones that I'm sure you've never seen anything like before.